Welcome everyone to another post-match live stream after West Ham draws with Brighton at a mighty score of 3-3. West Ham have now dropped 19 points from winning position this season. So, what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, it's garbage. It's absolute garbage. Yet again, no fight. Everybody gives up. They put their heads down. I mean, we gifted that game. We gifted that game to Brighton. Absolutely ridiculous. One, to let the ball roll in the net like that. Nobody's trying to mark the man. Nobody's trying to put pressure on. Absolute shit show. And the first goal, I mean, look, I'll give a fair shake to Fabianski. Not much he can do with that one. Glenn Murray's got his over his dick. Nothing he could do on that one. So, but we were sitting here standing going, we're can gift them a goal. We're gonna give them a third goal, and we didn't. VAR gave it to them, but regardless, we absolutely just gifted them that match. Bullshit performance, and we looked so good going into the first half. We gave up. We absolutely gave up. It's like these guys don't know they're in a relegation battle.
Yeah. Katie, Katie and the host there with you guys. What'd you guys think of them?
So I have really bad reception, but I'm here at Stowe's in Philly. I can't even. What in the heck was that? I am so disgusted. It isn't even funny. Oh, there's Neil. Hi, Neil.
Hey, Neil.
I mean, what was that?
I don't know.
I understand unfortunate things happen, but the coaching was shit.
Yeah.
We were up 3-0.
Yeah. Yeah, so we go 3-0 up. The Ogbonna own goal starts it off.
He had the ball.
That made.
Why? Tell me why. In what world is that appropriate?
Okay. Well, John. Hey everyone, it's my co-host, one of the guys on Fortune's Always Hiding podcast with me here.
We're all morning over here. It was what an atrocious second half. I mean, if you score 3 goals in the Premier League, you have no business losing. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I wholeheartely agree. Usually we have some sort of so obviously, as you can tell, I'm not joined with my normal co-host, Irish Tommy. Usually we have some sort of structure. I'm just so pissed off. Like, I don't care. I just want this to be a bitch fest between all of us. Everyone in the chat can air their grievances as well. This is a complete just shit show. Let's just get it all out.
Well, okay.
Go ahead, Liam.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, it's anything. I feel the worst for Jared Bowen, because here he is. He's just been signed at the midnight hour last night, and he's about to join a team that's going right back down to the fucking championship. So welcome aboard, brother. You're gonna get to enjoy about 4 months of Premier League football, and then right back down. Fuck.
It's absolutely insane. I don't know at this point why anyone would want to sign with us. I really don't.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Souček. I don't feel as bad for him because he'll, like, if we go down, he'll return to his parent club in Czechoslovakia. So I mean, it's a win-win for him. But I mean, I don't know why anyone would want to sign for us.
To be fair, Souček played great. I liked him a lot.
Very well.
I don't think a lot of it was his fault. I think that he pressed high up the pitch, which I wasn't expecting to see. He made some intelligent passes. He misplayed some passes as well, but he's not the only West Ham player that did that today. So I'm not going to fault him.
That's walking.
I mean, I think he did really well the first half. I think probably like majority of the second half, he kind of started to disappear a little bit. It didn't seem like he was impacting the game. But then towards the end, it seemed like he was, he was pushing back up. But yeah, I did like that. He was drifting back. He was drifting back to cover defensively, which he needed to. And then he was drifting up into the box, putting pressure on the center backs in the first half. I think he still needs to figure out exactly how he's going to slide in with this group. But, I mean, not bad for showing.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree with that. Someone did point out on Twitter too. He hasn't, because of their break, he hasn't played in 3 weeks. So I mean, he had to get back up to fitness, and for his first match in 3 weeks, he performed in a new league. He performed admirably. But I just. The thing I just can't get past is the substitutions. We are now under the second manager that does not know how to utilize substitutions.
That's what I said. Sorry, go ahead.
For me, we always Tommy and I always comment how we don't want to ever see Lanzini on the pitch again. I'm getting the point where I don't want to ever see Masuaku on the pitch again.
Yep. And I actually thought he was going to make an impact, which was kind of upsetting, because we actually thought that Allaire would get pulled, Antonio would get pushed up top because he would actually battle and make the runs, and then you bring Masuaku in just to add a little bit more depth to the midfield. Pulling Antonio out was stupid. Pulling Snodgrass, not even arguably, it is an understood fact of life that Snodgrass is our best set piece delivery. And the dude had a brace. He had 2 goals. He's the reason we're up 3-0 at one point. Absolute stupidity from Moyes. Not sure what he was thinking. Hey, Canada, welcome aboard. Welcome to the shit show that is West Ham.
Yes, welcome all. My other thoughts on this game too are, I think Allaire is probably one of the worst players over 40 million, worth over 40 million pounds. I just cannot justify that price tag anymore. If we go down, we'll be lucky to sell him for 20.
Oh yeah, there's no way we're gonna recoup the money for that dude. He disappeared yet again. I mean, got a couple good headers, but there's never a point that I feel like he's a goal-scoring threat. I mean, I feel like we have more goal potential coming out of the midfield, and that is absolutely fucking bonkers.
Well, yeah, I mean, our 3 goals were scored by one of our center backs, and two of them were scored by one of our midfielders. We have, I mean, Antonio is the only forward in that match who could actually present a goal-scoring opportunity. And he was, I think, being used more just to distract players, bring players out of the box almost. So, I mean, we're not utilizing him correctly now. So I just don't know where we go from here, especially with a run of matches against Man City and Liverpool.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you hope that Bowen can come in, make an impact. I mean, let's be honest. We've got Man City coming up. We've got Liverpool again. Like, we're not going to get points off those matches. This was the match to get points off. I mean, after that, it's just we have to hope that other teams have worse results than we do, and that's going to be the only way we climb.
Yeah. So as we were talking about in the West Ham now are actually also officially in the drop zone. We are sitting at 18th place on 24 points, 1 point behind Aston Villa in 17th. And as we came in, I mentioned that we've dropped 19 points from winning position. If you look at that puts, if we actually get all those points, we're sitting in 4th place in the league right now. Where did Katie go?
Insane. Fucking insane. And it's painful because so many of those, all those points given up from a winning position is literally because our team put their head down. It's not because we don't have the quality of players. It's not because we didn't have the quality of coaching. It is literally because these players give up time and time again. They do not battle. And then we're bringing on players that do not fucking battle. Like, it's just, it's a lack of understanding of where we are in the table and what we should be doing as a team, because this team just absolutely does not understand this is a relegation fight, and they need to. I don't know who needs to put a boot up their ass, but somebody needs to let these guys know that they're out there. They're paid fucking professionals. Put the ball in the back of the net, not your own net. Put it in the fucking opposing team's net.
Yeah, and as Anglo Gen actually put in the comments here from Periscope, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Just awful. Management or players better not ask for fans to get behind the team. We have been behind this team all season, and they are not performing. You cannot realistically ask a fan base to get behind a team that doesn't want to fight.
No. Well, okay, so you look at it this way. In any other profession, if you're shit at your job, what happens? You know, your boss is going to give you feedback. They're going to give you chances to try to improve. You cannot tell me that we have not given these guys a chance to improve. We have been West Ham supporters. For me, it's been 20 years. It's 20 years I put up with this shit. And
welcome back, Katie, by the way.
Yeah, no, I've watched us go through multiple relegation battles. I've watched us drop. I've watched us battle and come back. I completely get that. There is something inherently rotten about this team this year. There is something wrong that I have never seen in all my years of being a West Ham fan. There is something absolutely wrong with this team right now, and I don't know. Kyle and I were talking about it on the most recent episode of American Hammers Radio that we were saying we probably need to go down. At this point, you almost have to clear house. You have to start from scratch because there's something wrong with this club, and we need to get them back on track. We need the West Ham that we know.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to read you a tweet that, John, I'm sure you've already seen because it was that screenshot that I sent you and Zach last night from Twitter. This was an actual tweet liked by Chairman David Gold. Well done, David. Now we need a right back and a striker. Then we have a chance at survival. Even the Bull thinks we're going down.
Yep.
I mean, it's just getting unbearable at this point. And one point I think I made in our podcast last week was that with the struggle that we had against West Brom, that was a very weak West Brom side, and that was almost our full starting 11. Because if we go down, we're not going to have Allaire, we're not going to have Anderson, we're not going to have our best players. And we struggled, and we lost against a weak West Brom side. If we go down, we legitimately could stay down for several years.
Yep. No.
We deserve to go down.
Yeah. Oh, I wholeheartedly agree.
Well, and it's difficult because you think about some of the players that we lose at that point too, and like, would you really be sad to see Allaire go? I mean, I wouldn't at this point. Get him out of here. Get him out. Bring me John Joe Shelby. Bring me Danny Ings. Give me guys that are gonna fight. Because this group, this isn't it. This is absolutely not it.
Well, the issue. What's that, Katie?
They look disgusting.
Yeah. The biggest issue though with Lanzini was with the size of his contract. He'll want to go, but the club wouldn't sell him for just like pennies or anything. So who's going to actually realistically pay a decent fee to get him? I mean, we could be realistically stuck with Lanzini in the championship where he will just get broken in half.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, everyone's making a fuss about Arnavik coming back, but you know what? I will take Arnavik at this point. Would you not?
Say this again, Frank.
What?
What's that?
Say it again. Repeat what you just said. Sorry.
I said everyone's making a fuss about bringing Arnavik back.
Arnavik,
like,
Arnavik.
I Arnavik back.
Yeah, for me, I don't know.
Let's shake some things up.
Yeah. I mean,
the dude can find the back of the net. I mean, he's not tearing it up in China, but he has found goals. I think it's like 7 for the season so far. So, I mean, fuck. Like, if you need, bring Pyatt back. Bring fucking Paul Ince back at this point. Bring back people that can put the ball in the net. Like, it's insane. And that's the problem, too. Think about this. We just scored 3 goals. Absolutely should have won this game. So it's not even so much the strikers. It's not even so much the midfielders not being able. It's our porous back line. It is a back line that that they do not know how to operate as a cohesive unit defensively. They absolutely wait for somebody else to make some magic happen, or you get the ball. No, you get the ball.
Not even cohesive. It's the fact that they're making dumb plays.
Yeah.
Like basic stuff. You don't have the ball back to a goalie ever.
No, and it's with a man on. Fabianski's calling to tell you've got a man on. Just clear the ball out. I don't care if you give him another corner. Clear the fucking ball out.
Exactly.
This is insane.
Exactly. Thank you, Liam.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, the biggest.
It's just bad.
It's not like Brighton fought back in, and that's the thing that one of the things that aggravates me the most. They didn't fight back in it. It wasn't their superior play that I would have been mad, but it would have been a little bit more easy to stomach had they actually just found their feet and managed to get in an open play. But I mean, basically 2 own goals and VAR or a handball that VAR decided was not a handball for some god unknown reason.
It wasn't a hand. If you watch the replay, it wasn't. I'm sorry. As much as
I still think it comes off his wrist first, but
yeah, it looks like it hits off his body and then it hits off his wrist.
Go back and watch it. It hit his stomach.
Regardless,
that ball should have never been in the.
You know what I mean? Like, regardless, it's Glenn Murray who fucking always finds the back of the net against us. And
7 and 10.
Dude, and it's even at that point, though, even if Glenn Murray scores that goal, the other two, we absolutely shouldn't have fucking given up. You know what I mean? Like, why is the defense allowing Glenn Murray to boss Fabianski on the line like that? One of them absolutely should have gotten between Fabianski and Glenn Murray, created some space so Fabianski had some opportunity to move. If you look at every set piece that they did, that's what Glenn Murray did. He was all over Fab's dick the entire time. All we needed was a degree of separation, and that's what your center back should have done. That's what one of your midfielders should have done. But they didn't. They allowed him to be bossed. And you're putting him under pressure. You're giving him pressure he does not need. So it's, yet again, it falls to the defense not doing the job that they're fucking paid to do.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. I mean, even if that ball gets in there, like you're talking about, that ball should have never even been played into that position in the first place. I mean,
nope. We
should have, that was nothing but nerve. Like the commentators had said, once you're 2 goals up, you feel a little bit more relaxed. Once they got that one back, that's when all they just crumbled. I mean, it doesn't help when you take off one of our best players on the pitch and you put in Masuaku, who then ultimately comes in and allows the second goal, is the one who facilitates the second goal. And he just can't play, period. I don't remember the last time he had a good match. I really don't.
Well, and then you look at the pressure after Antonio gets pulled off, right? And then as soon as you pull off Snodgrass as well, all of a sudden Brighton is on the front foot.
Neil, I agree.
Yeah, no, good shout, Neil. But that's the thing is all of a sudden Brighton's on the front foot. You know, the last 30 minutes of the match, we're hoping for a quick counter, which we don't have the pace to handle. So you've got Brighton on the front foot, got them lumping balls in, getting these corners. It's just you could see exactly when our impact players are pulled off, we do not have substitutions off the bench that are going to change the game the way we need to change. So, like Neil said, I mean, here's hoping that Bowen hits the ground running because we absolutely need that injection of fight because otherwise we are absolutely going down.
Yeah. Oh, I think even if he hits the ground running, I think the odds are now in favor of us going down.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I always look it up. I don't think they would have been updated by now, but I'm attention. Right now, we're sitting at a 2-1 odds of relegation.
Yeah,
we're gonna get relegated. I said
Probably
earlier in the year.
Yes, yeah.
I was on a podcast with Alex. I said, "Listen, if we don't turn it around, we're getting relegated." And here we are again.
Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me. The way we're playing is just terrible. You know, and a part of it is coaching, yeah, but also the other part is player smarts. We're not being smart.
I just don't know where we go from here, and that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, agreed.
Right?
Where do we go?
I mean, I always pull it up. It always hurts me. What's that?
I said, because I'm not trying to be a Chelsea fan at this point. So what do we do?
No, I mean it's West Ham till I die, but there's got to be something that the team
Thanks,
that
Neil.
the team gives back to us. It's one of the hallmarks of being West Ham fans. Like, you understand the roller coaster, you understand the ups and downs of being a supporter, but this is so far beyond what we are so used to that it's like, even when we went down swinging, and this time, like, it literally looks like we gave up 4 games into the season.
Yeah.
Especially like the back half of this post Christmas should have absolutely been the time for these guys to fucking kick their knees up and get it done. And they're not. Like, they're just not. I mean, even when you've got Mark Noble with a fucking terrible meme-ready swing and a miss in the box, like, this is something else, man. This is laughable. The performances that we're seeing on the pitch these days, and it's
beyond at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be honest, like, we're here in Full Circle Brewing Company in Fresno, California, and, like, we're losing our minds. We're so excited. We went into halftime. If you watch the American Hammers Radio live stories on Instagram, like, Kyle and I, we had our friend Franco here. We were all, like, giddy, cloud 9, up 2-0, like, looking good. I think we're going to own this game, and then we go into that second half, and it's just like it's like a building falling down. Like, this is something else. I don't know if it's not the right appointment. I don't know if it's we don't have the injection of youth or the injection of pace to be able to hang with teams, or what it is, but we're falling right the fuck apart.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring up something Tone actually just said in the chat. Problem is Moyes plays a different formation in starting 11 every single week. And that is something that is very true. He's been here over a month now, or roughly just about a month, actually. And he still doesn't know his starting 11. He still doesn't know his formation. He doesn't know the tactics. He doesn't know who his best 11 players are. And that is such an issue. I mean,
the injuries I don't know.
Every team has its injuries, though.
True, but you think about, like, injury to impact players like Antonio. The fact that we haven't had him, consistently through the Moyes era, right? Anderson, obviously another player that, especially after looking at the Bournemouth game, looked like he was on the rise. Looked like he was ready to start making strides back to what we saw, the 2018-2019 season. But this has, a lack of understanding of what pieces he actually has and how to best utilize them.
Yeah.
We all have been saying forever that Hilaire cannot be a lone striker up top. Yeah, Yarmolenko's been injured for fucking months now. But, like, Hilaire cannot be a lone striker, yet he continues to be played as a lone striker. Why was Hilaire not played alongside Antonio up top? If not that, like, why at least put Sudak top? Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we not? Why is it the coaching staff cannot see what we see as supporters and have it be executed appropriately? It's still this confusing model decimation of a team week in and week out, and allegations come and go.
Yeah, and that's something I've been saying too. Now we're on our
win against Man City. We're getting a win against Man City or Liverpool. I don't know which one, but we're going to get a win. Trust me.
Got to trust the beard. Trust the beard. Franco says it'll happen.
And that is the West Ham thing. We're going to end up going to, like, we're bitching and moaning right now. Watch us win the next 2 matches. Like, and that's the best and worst thing about being a West Ham supporter for me. It's just you don't know what's going to happen. You really don't. Yeah. But one of the things I've been saying, though, personally, is that we're on our second manager now who doesn't understand that Allaire needs that partner up top. You look every single match that either Moyes or Pellegrini finally caved in and put Antonio or someone up front with him, and they've performed well. And it just doesn't make sense to me that they can't get through. Is it because Ayeti is that, or everyone else shows that they're that incapable of playing up top with Allaire in practice, or what is it?
It's the West Ham way. Capone, nice. It's the West Ham way. We win, lose, draw. Yeah, but I think that's really what it is, because we don't have that prolific striker like when we had Arnautovic, right? Like even back with Sacco or Denbaba, like we don't have that striker that we can keep up top that that attracts the defense. Like I think that's the biggest thing. Like typically with Allaire, they know just put one center back on him. You don't need to pull both center backs. Put one center back on him. They'll go up for the ball. If they play the ball to his feet, he falls over it every single time. It's like he trips over the ball. You can't play it to air because you can't. There's lack of an attacking threat. When Arnautovic was on the pitch, you absolutely had both center backs on his ass. When Antonio is on the pitch, you've got both center backs on his ass, or at least one of the center backs and one of the wing backs. So this is like tactics 101. If you absolutely know that you have a striker that does not attract the defense, you need somebody else that can move with pace behind the defense. Why was Lanzini not told to play up top? Why was he not told to play in the pocket? Why'd you not bring Andretti on? Andretti, we've seen fights. He fucking fights. Why do you not put this guy on the pitch? He's a striker. We've got a striker that is not performing. So what do? You leave a striker that you're not even giving him a chance. At least put him on the pitch. Yeah. It's bad tactics.
And that's the thing for me. Like personally, if I'm Moyes, I'm putting a Yeti on because he's going to be he's going to give it his effort, like 100%. Allaire is kind of comfortable right now. He's like, oh, I'm starting every week. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to try because they think I'm the best striker that they have. You put a Yeti on who's trying to fight for a spot, you may see a worldie of a performance out there.
Yep. He at least is going to give you a different option. We know what we get with Allaire, and unfortunately, it's just not good enough. It's not 45 million pounds good enough for sure.
Yeah. So let me really quickly run through this for you. Our remaining games. And let's just despair over how bad it is. So next Sunday we play away to City, followed by a 15-day break, and then we're off to Anfield, home to Southampton, and then we hit the toughest stretch one of the toughest stretches I've ever seen. Arsenal away, home to Wolves, away to Tottenham, home to Chelsea. And then personally for me, I think this is going to come down to the final match, home against Aston Villa. I think that is going to end up being a winners take all. Whoever wins that match stays in the Premier League.
No. And I don't know if that's us at this point. You know, based on these performances, like I wouldn't even confidently say that we can go in and beat Villa, which is nuts. Because if you had asked me at the start of the season, I would have said that's an easy take. That's an easy 3 points, both home and.
Well, we get a little bit of a boost as well. Aston Villa actually lost today to Bournemouth 2-1, despite Bournemouth being down a man.
Yeah, which that was nuts.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows? I mean, this is one nutty season. This is one crazy season. I mean, I keep relishing back to before this season began when we were linked in with the likes of Leicester and Wolves to be a top 6 side. And here we are in the relegation zone with how many matches left do we have to play?
Was it
13?
Alex,
13 matches. Usually, so I know that the usual bell mark to stay up is about 40 points. We're at 24 with 13 matches left to play this season. We've averaged less than a point a match this season thus far. And I just don't understand how that's acceptable at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's still this mentality that you have to pick up points at home and you know you hope for a draw on the road, and that's like at this point we're hoping for a draw at home. Like this is insane. Like you can't look at what we're doing and think that this is good enough. These players, it's hedge your bets. What player do you think is going to come out and go, oh, we need to stick together. We need to, we need to get behind each other, and we'll re-examine the game, and we'll see what changes need to be made, and we'll put our effort in. It's either Noble or Antonio or Cresswell. Like we're going to get the same speech every week after every match, and you don't see a change.
Yeah. I mean, it's week after week, season after season. I mean, it won't change until the current board is gone, or as bad as it sounds, until they die.
Yeah. No.
Which recent photos have showed that David Gold is not looking good.
No, I feel like this is taking a toll on him. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes, man. I mean, I honestly think if we get relegated, I think the board sells. But if we don't, I think they probably continue to stick it out because they're looking at us as like we're an owed lineage that they want to give a legacy to their children. So they don't look at us like a football club.
Which, if that's the case, I just pray to God that they actually better or just sell up. I mean, for me, it'll be a case of I'm not going to pass the sins of the father on to the sons. If there could be their own people, they could actually go out and spend money and try and make this a proper team. And if they do that, then I'm perfectly fine with them. But if they don't, if they continue the same old crap that we've been seeing year after year, then I mean, I think these protests could continue for a few years.
Yep, you'll see protests till they're out, 100%.
Yeah, with regards to the protests too, I said this earlier. What happened after the Burnley match a few years ago was that the owners got scared and they invested money, and then all the fans kind of just got complacent, like, okay, I mean, they're finally doing what they said they would, so we'll be quiet now, and it's just reverted right back to the same. This time, if you want the protests to work, even if they go out this summer, if we stay up and they spend £200 million, the protests have to continue.
Yeah. No. I mean, because at this point it's been too long. They've been given the chances and they're just not making it happen. So, I mean, it's got to be bored out until they're out. I don't care if they invest £1 billion in the team. They've ruined this club. They've taken us from our spiritual home. They've given us nothing to really root for at this point. It's gotten out of control for years now. So it's time to call it. It's time to call time on their tenure.
Yeah. So
yeah, I think it's easy to overreact to this. Sorry, Mark's checked in. Katie is
Yeah, introduce yourself. I don't know who you are.
I think this game is easy to overreact because it was such a must-win game, and I apologize. I was getting my haircut, so I missed most of the show. But very easy overreact game because this was such a must-win, I feel like, for West Ham. And I thought that they actually played wild. I thought they played really well. And it was outside of those two, like, most ridiculous own goals, essentially, that I've ever seen. I've honestly never seen anything like it. And I think that that's the most frustrating part. I don't really have words to describe how I'm feeling right now. I'm not like pissed off. I'm not like, oh my God, West Ham sucks, fuck them.
I'm pissed off.
Okay.
I'm pissed off.
All right, she's pissed off, but I'm frustrated. I'm sad because that was a win that we had, and we let it go. I mean, that's where I'm at. I don't know. I am honestly at a loss for words. I'm just really sad. Is the only way that I can put it.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is
But I don't think the board. I don't think it matters what the board is doing
or anything like that. I don't think that matters. Today was not a product of the board being pieces of shit or Moyes not knowing what the hell he's doing. I thought Moyes had a good lineup today. Formation changed it up. I thought he played the right players. And I thought everyone played hard. I thought they all played well, except honestly, I thought Fredericks looked like shit. But granted, he's coming back. But anyway, yeah, that's where I'm at.
I think it was the correct starting lineup. I liked the 4 at the back. I liked the change. I'm not personally a fan of 3 or 5 at the back, but the thing that ruined the match and caused us to slide was the substitutions. Masuaku should never have been brought on, and even if he was, should never have been for Antonio. He was one of our best players out there. He was the only one really getting forward and creating opportunities. And then following it up with taking Snodgrass, who was by far probably our best player, off for Lanzini, who can't, he gets touched and he's off the ball. And then followed, what was the last? Oh, Suchek for Fornals, which I think Fornals should have been starting to begin with. But, I mean, Moyes did ruin that game with the substitutions.
Yeah, no, I mean, I gotta disagree. I don't know who the guy was that was on there, but no, I mean, I think we played decent the first half, especially putting in the goals. But I think the second half we completely fell apart. And I think Chris, what you and I were saying early on, the substitutions were just poor. It was they were not impactful. You're pulling off the 2 players that actually did make an impact on the pitch, and it's still, like we were saying earlier, like it's still a lack of understanding of tactics, a lack of understanding of how to get these guys to get their heads up and get the job done. So
yeah,
I don't know where we go from here. I don't know what the solution is. Right now, the solution does seem to be fucking relegation. Preach, Liam! Fucking preach!
It looked like when West Ham came out, West Ham was literally dominating. I'm sorry, I apologize. Like the most absolute joke, like video Skyping I've ever seen, especially from Katie, who's been blacked out drunk since 9 a.m. It's actually insane. So
sometimes that's how you kind of
I thought that West Ham pretty much all game. What really fell apart, like when we gave up that goal, that was just such shit. I think it was the one that smashed off Ogbonna's head. It literally, that's when it looked like that this team was coming apart. That was like the turning point. And then Lanzini, I don't know what the fuck is going on with Lanzini. Maybe it's not. Whatever. I'm sick of these excuses for that kid. Cannot play football. He's not a fucking baller. That kid stinks. Okay, keep him the fuck off the pitch. He's horrible. I don't even know why he's in the goddamn rotation. He's terrible.
Because maybe
another thing. Maybe Fredericks was brought back too early. Maybe Fredericks was brought back too early because he looked like shit too. I'm a huge Fredericks guy. I thought he looked like shit.
Yeah. For me, I think after the Liverpool match, I can never pronounce his name, but Ngakia. I think he should have gotten the run out. I think he played very, very, very well against Liverpool. I think he would have actually been a very well. I don't think Fredericks was as bad as you're kind of implying. I don't think he had a worldly of a match, but I didn't have any issue with him. But I still think Ngakia should have been given another run out given his performance against Liverpool.
No. All right, hey Chris, my phone's about to die, brother.
All right, man. Well, then let's go ahead and wrap this up now. Then keep this under an hour. I want to thank Katie and the whole contingent of everyone who came on. I want to thank Liam for coming on as well. You can follow both of us on Twitter. We have our Twitter handles in our name below.
Sorry, guys.
And there.
I apologize. First of all, this phone's a piece of shit. Can't hear or see anything. This phone is ridiculous. But appreciate you guys having West Ham Philly on here. Cheers.
All right. Well.
All right, boys.
That's going to wrap it up for this week. We'll be back. Irish Tommy should be back next Sunday for the post-match live stream against Man City. Let's hope we can change our fortunes around here. But until then, come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.